Trade has long been cited as a means of mutual growth for the entire African continent. Yesterday, President Uhuru Kenyatta has disclosed that Kenya is considering the importation of liquefied gas and coal from Mozambique starting next year through a government-to-government agreement. We tell you more on this and other stories that matter on Business Today. Also joining me in studio is the CEO of logistics delivery platform Sendi, Meshak Alois, to talk on matters transport and business. My name is Malika Kazia. A very warm welcome to the program. Let's begin with the highlights. ANC leader and former finance minister Mudavadi cautions government over growing debt.
Now, Cyton is one place where we say we like people without experience.
We feature some of the top CEOs and take a look at how they made it in business on the premiere edition of Captains of Industry. Breaking down what online forex entails and how you can trade. And what does the future hold when it comes to technology? We unpack the Internet of Things. Let's begin with our Twitter poll question for you this afternoon. Do you think importing liquefied petroleum gas from Mozambique will lower the cost of cooking gas? Once again, do you think that importing liquefied petroleum gas from Mozambique will lower the cost of cooking gas? Yes or no, of course, let us know at KTN Kenya, at Malika Kazia with the hashtag KTN Business. All right, now let's take a look at your markets. We've got currencies coming up first. The US dollar there, buying rate 102 shillings at 26 cents. We're selling at 102 shillings 46 cents for the dollar there. As for the sterling pound, 130 shillings 95 cents is the buying rate. Selling rate for now, 131 shillings 25 cents. The euro next, buying rate 116.74 shillings. It's selling at 117 shillings. Let's move on to the NSE performance. Turnover stands at 161 million. Share traded 8.7 million. NSE 20 share index is 2,796.02. Bonds traded worth 2.2 billion. Now for the most active stock, NIC Bank leading the pack with 2.08 million. We've got KPLC next with 1.31 million. Mumias coming in third, 605,600. And BARCLAYS Bank finally with 445,000. Now for the winning stocks, the National Bank going up 9.17% to trade at 5 shillings and 95 cents. Now curiously, all the other three companies have gone up by 7.69% respectively. Home Africa trading at 70 cents, Trans Century 3 shillings 50 cents and Stanlib 10 shillings 50 cents. Now the losing stocks, Barclays Bank has gone down to trade at 11 shillings, going down by 4.35%. Centum taking a downward turn of 3.77% to trade at 25 shillings 50 cents. We've got CIC Insurance there trading at 3 shillings 80 cents. It's a marginal downward trend of 2.56%. And Samir Africa 2.44% downward to trade at 2 shillings. All right, now once again our Twitter poll question, of course, is do you think importing liquefied petroleum gas from Mozambique will lower the cost of cooking gas? Is it a yes or a no from you? Tell us at KTN Kenya, at Malika Kazia. The hashtag once again KTN Business. Now in relation to that is our first story. Kenya could soon start importing liquefied petroleum from Mozambique in a bid to broaden cooperation within the African nation. Now, speaking while hosting the visiting Mozambique President Filipe Nyusi, President Uhuru Kenyatta also noted that the two countries are working on a visa waiver framework to ease movements of nationals between the two countries.
The signing of this MOU on visa waiver will facilitate our people-to-people contact and indeed become pivotal in enhancing our trade as well as cultural exchanges between our two peoples. And Kenya seeks to learn from Mozambique's best practices, including transfer of technology, as we embark on developing our own extractive industry. And indeed, one of the proposals that we are considering is the importation of liquefied gas and coal from Mozambique starting next year through a government-to-government agreement.
All right, and of course our Twitter poll question for you this afternoon is related to that story. Once again, do you think imported liquefied petroleum gas from Mozambique will lower the cost of cooking gas? Is it a yes or a no? Tell us at Malika Kazia at KTN Kenya. That hashtag KTN Business still stands. Do you think importing liquefied petroleum gas from Mozambique will lower the cost of cooking gas? Right now, moving on from that, the government will require over 85 million bags of cement to implement its housing plan under the Big Four agenda. That is according to the State Department for Housing and Urban Development Permanent Secretary, who went further to ask stakeholders to come on board with the government's housing plan. Housing Principal Secretary Charles Hinga was speaking at a stakeholder meeting where Equity Bank, Mabati Rolling Mills and Bamburi Portland Cement continued to reassure the government of their active participation in the Big Four agenda.
If everybody who is employed, elected, because it's an election, elected to register for the housing, and then you claim the relief, that is 22.5 billion shillings a month that this government is prepared to put down to house our people. Why? Because Article 47, subsection 1, gives you a right to housing. And not just housing, but decent housing. So, my encouragement to you is let's have this conversation, but let's have context. I need 85 million bags of cement. 85 million bags of cement. I don't know what is your production here, but I think 85 million bags is, I catch your attention. Now the question is, should I import the cement, or are you going to be the one that is going to produce that cement?
Hugo Boss has now entered the Kenyan market. The German luxury apparel brand is seeking to tap into the growing demand for designer fashion brands among the middle-class population. The company has opened its first store at Westgate Mall through the local partner Fazal Group. Kenya is the 27th African country to host a Hugo Boss store.
Kenyan people very friendly, nicely dressed. They really like to dress up. And I believe it's the biggest chance to grow our market and business here. Well, the shop fitting itself is quite expensive already. It's more or less €500,000. Then some marketing costs on top. And I think we keep it going for the next year, keeping our marketing spendings quite high. It's, at the moment, we're employing 5 staff members, plus 1 manager at the bus store in Westgate. We're looking into Ethiopia, for example. We found a pretty nice location. Now we're looking for some local partner to run the business for us. Kenya, for now, we probably stick to Westgate and we see how it goes, and then we're looking forward to some growth.
Global trends have changed worldwide, and as times are changing, the age group of the consumer is evolving, the taste of the consumer is evolving, and we feel it's the right time to start up and launch a Hugo Boss shop in Kenya, because we have a younger, more professional and more affluent, younger Kenyan today. We're looking to expand in the new Sarit Center expansion as well. And we're looking at new opportunities as they open in the counties. Let's see what's evolving.
To me, Boss is a very inspiring brand. It's, as when I was young, it was an aspirational brand for me. And that's what made it so interesting for me to say we need to pursue this brand. But not only that, more importantly, we're a fourth generation family in clothing, where our tenets have always been quality, service with a great price point. And I think since my grandfather's time, these tenets have always lived on and still are being lived up to.
Now, Nakuru County has witnessed an investor rush in the past few months as it prepares to upgrade to city status. The latest entrant is Zuku Fiber, which has expanded its services to Nakuru. The company rolled the fastest internet speed in the country in a move to expand its network coverage and grasp the potential demand for home internet, television and telephone services.
Is a legacy brand in Kenya, not in particular in new markets. So when we launch in the new market, it is actually questionable if we launch triple play. In a market where the brand is known, it is a perceived value in a way. In the end, you're completely right that the broadband service is the one that gets us into the home. That's where the demand comes from. However, what we know, when people realize that there is also traditional TV, I call it traditional linear TV, just watching channels without any user intervention, people start using it. It's about 30 to 40% that turn on the TV service over time. So there is still some demand when the service is available for a normal lean-back TV. It's not all about over the top or on demand, where you watch certain series, certain content, whatever it is. By the way, the biggest data consumer on our internet service is YouTube.